So, this might be kind of surprising to see. You read the title. A Snow White review? Really? God, are you shocked?
No, I'm not shocked. We just had some delays and we're reviewing it now. So
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It just sometimes shit gets.
I mean,
better
late than never.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because because the guys and I we were talking about it for a while. And you know what? We might as well. So with that being said, hello and welcome to our live stream review of Snow White. You know who we all are. You know the routine. So let us start talking about the original 1937 animated classic. The one that started it all, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The first full-length hand-drawn animated movie. And let me tell you, this movie had a significant impact amongst many among many of the genre, the film industry. Walt Disney, they're pioneers. And we decided to rewatch this movie to see if it held up or not. Like, is it still deserving of being called a classic? Has it aged well? And in some ways, yes, it is a little bit dated. But it's still a good movie. I think it still holds up in many aspects. For one, I still think the animation is beautiful. Like, I'm a sucker for old cell animation. I think the animation here still looks great. I especially love the painted backgrounds. The characters, they're all memorable and likable. The seven dwarves are always a blast to watch. The Evil Queen is a fantastic villain. It's Snow White, while a bit bland, she's still a likable character, and you can understand why she is known as the fairest one of all. There's a lot of funny moments here. The songs are still infectiously catchy, such as Whistle While You Work, the Wishing Well song, Hi Ho, Hi Ho, it's home from work we go. I cannot whistle. But still, these are so catchy songs. And of course, the ending is still iconic. With Snow White eating the poison apple, the dwarves coming to her rescue and killing the evil queen, and Snow White being brought back to life by true love's kiss. Like, if there's any issues I have with it, yes, there are aspects of it about the movie that are a bit dated. Mainly with Snow White herself. Sure, yes, she is very likable. She is the fairest one of all, but there's not really much to her. She's more or less just the nice girl who's also the damsel in distress. But that's more of the times. And I'm not holding that against the movie at all. But yes, compared to a lot of the other princesses we would get in Disney movies, whether it's Belle or Tiana, Snow White isn't as developed or as interesting as those princesses. And the prince was pretty bland too. He shows up in the beginning, sings a song, then he shows up at the end. honestly, outside of him breaking the spell, bringing Snow White back, he's just there. But overall, does Snow White hold up as a good movie? Yes, it does. There are better Disney movies, but this is still a very important film that has more aspects that hold up rather than age it. And that is why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. And yes, as you can see, we do have names of the dwarves. I am sneezy because I'm currently battling a cold. That being said, I'm going to hand it off to Bashful.
All right, so Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So let me go ahead and start and say that I love a lot of the Disney animated movies. I really do. Snow White, it was one that I remember the first time I remember watching it. I remember watching it as a kid. I do remember. I think it was like when somebody brought it to school or something. I think it was one of the movies that somebody brought to school and we watched. I did like it at the time, although it's honestly been a while since I ended up rewatching it recently for this review. So, and do I think it holds up? Well, I mean, first of all, let's just go and get the positives out of the way. Like, I love the animation is still great. I love, like, it looks very impressive for his time. It still looks impressive today, you know. I do like a lot of the fun things with the dwarves, especially the scenes with Dopey, you know. In fact, I was going to name myself Dopey, but I decided to save that in case another cool kid decides to hop on. Like, a lot of their scenes are really funny, they're really enjoyable. And the songs honestly are still memorable. So, and I do understand, and I do like some of the iconic scenes. And I do have a massive respect for this movie. I will say this: I have a massive respect for it because this was. Let's just put it this way: if it weren't for this movie, there would be no such thing as a fully animated feature film. There would be no such thing. And if it weren't for this, some of my favorite movies of all time wouldn't even exist. You know, ones like Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, Inside Out, Land Before Time, Akira, you know, and none of those movies would exist without this. So I have to give this massive respect. However, I will pretty much be the downer in this group and say that this movie is very dated. So I respect its significance. I really do. But it's not one that I would constantly go back and have rewatches of. So first of all, the Snow White, I found her very bland and very boring. Honestly, she didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, she's just kind of nice and all. She's just nice, and she was just like the simple damsel in distress. It's just, I guess because I'm so used to having Disney princesses be a little have more of a prominent role, you know. I mean, I get that this was actually for the times. I get that. So, but I just found her character just not very engaging, you know. She just didn't really contribute a whole lot, you know. Yes, she cleaned for the dwarves and all. And yes, she was baking them and being like their caretaker, but she didn't really serve a whole lot. And same could be like, and for the prince, he was bland too. Like, did the prince even have a name, or was he just called the prince? I don't remember, but he felt kind of bland, and he was only there for like I think he only like had a minute or two of screen time. It's just like the only reason he's there is just to wake up. It's just to wake up Snow White. That's it. That's literally it. The Evil Queen, while not a bad Disney villain, I just maybe it's because I don't know. She didn't seem really all that interesting to me. So I mean, I get her role and all and her motive, things like that, but it's just I don't know. It's just compared to someone like Maleficent or Ursula or any of the other Disney baddies, she just didn't really stick out too much for me. I mean, I get her role, I get what she's trying to do, but it felt kind of it just felt kind of bland, but that's just me. And I mean, it does have tropes that pretty much might have been very impressive at the times, but has pretty much become a little dated, like some of the dialogue and all. But overall, this movie is fine. It's fine. Like I said, this is like kind of like what I keep saying about Citizen Kane. It's a movie I could say I have more respect for than I could say I actually love. So it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie, and I would probably at least say give this at least one watch. So maybe to judge for yourself. But for me, there are other movies rather be watching. Disney anime movies I'd rather be watching than before this again. So, and with that, my score is a 6 out of 10.
Cool. Me now. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarves is the first feature length Disney animated film, and pretty much every animated film since then pretty much kneels down to it, bows down to it. The entire animation industry is pretty much owes it something, pretty much owes it everything and what it has done. But even outside of its cultural importance, it still is I would say a great film. Like, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that has been said, but I will say this in regards to just the making of the film. I thought all of the um I thought all the voice acting was quite good, like from Adriana Casalati, Harry Stockwell, Lucille Laverne, as well as the Seven Dwarves. I'm not going to name every single one, every single voice actor, but they all do a very good job with their respective roles. I think the Evil Queen definitely has like a definitely a great, like, fucked up part of her that is very enthralling to see. Like, I just really liked how she dealt with like this hatred for Snow White, and how she, just like, this bitch is too fucking pretty, fucking little bitch. I love that. I don't know, just like that was great. I understand the prince was the thing is, at the time the Disney animators could not animate men very well, so unfortunately a lot of the prince's scenes were cut from the film. He was supposed to have a way bigger role, but unfortunately he just the animators couldn't get him quite right, so a lot of the stuff that was meant for him was repurposed for Prince Philip and Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty. So there is that as well. So it's kind of understandable as to why he's like that, but it definitely feels weird. It's like, oh, this guy is kind of just there. But even like earlier scenes in the film with the two of them, they were small, but they were still cute, and they did show a nice relationship between the two, and I really like that. Even it, just because it's small doesn't mean it's empty, and I really liked that. I liked what bit of chemistry they had with one another. And with that, I think Snow White is definitely more interesting and more um there's more to her than a lot of people think she is. Like, it kind of reminds me of the idea that, oh, Ariel left her kingdom for Dick, when it's like that was not the case at all. If you watch the movie, that's not what happened, and you're just trying to respond to like Tumblr comments and shit like that. But in regards to Snow White, what I like about Snow White's character here was a lot of the things that you don't notice until you rewatch it, and the things I noticed when I watched it a couple of years ago after watching it as a kid. I noticed that she's more yes, she's what I like about her is that it's the kindness in the face of adversity kind of thing. Like despite being technically the princess, being the daughter of the king, but evil stepmother has to come in and fucking ruin everything. She is treated like shit. She's in rags all the time. She's, just like a terribly, terribly treated, yet she still remains resilient. She still remains who she is in regards to her kindness, her loving nature, her nurturing, her caring nature. Like when she rescues the little bird from earlier on in the film before the hunter comes in, tries to kill her and can't, and then he says, you can't come back, you have to leave. And it's through her kindness that she is rewarded, or how she cleans the house for the dwarves, and it's like it seemed like, oh, it's showcasing that women belong in the kitchen. No, she's earning her keep. She realizes that these guys aren't going to let me stay here for free. Let me, try to help them in any way that I can. She doesn't have to do that. She couldn't be like, well, I'm a princess, I deserve to be, I deserve to be called on beck and foot and that kind of thing. But she's like, I don't want to be like my evil stepmother. I'm gonna earn my place here. And so she helps them, and then she cares for the dwarves. She nurtures them. She loves them. And when we see them grow together, it shows like this great bond that these characters have for one another. And just because oh, she doesn't have a sword, that means she's not strong. It's like I feel like that's very empty and very surface level. And well, yes, there are plenty of Disney princesses that are better. Like I do think Cinderella was, Snow White a little bit better refined, and Belle is obviously classic. Ariel's great. I mean, they're all wonderful in their own ways, but I think there's more to Snow White than people give her credit for, and I really liked what she is doing here. She kind of has like a bit of sassiness to her. She has a bit of she does I don't think she takes shit, that, and I like that as well. But even outside of that, I think the story was engaging. I thought the musical numbers were very memorable and very fun. The score itself, like outside of the songs, are very good, so much to the point that it got the film an Oscar nomination. Didn't win, but it did get a nomination. And I think, it had a very like wholesome like kind of nature to it. Like it feels like a lot of like Disney movies, they're great. I mean, we all watched these movies when we were kids, but it's just like a lot of, and because of that, a lot of these movies might not be the greatest of all time, but they feel like a nice warm hug from an old friend. And that's what Snow White is to me. It might not be the greatest out of all the Disney princess films, and that might not be the greatest Disney animated film, period. But I do believe that there is more to the it deserves a little bit more credit outside of, oh, it started the animation feature length animation industry. And I think there's more to Snow White's character. I don't think like, you know, I understand why people have qualms with the prince. I mean, outside forces prevented that, but even on film, there is a lot to be desired. Even though it's very, I still think it's a nice, cute relationship, even though they didn't showcase as much as they wanted to. But overall, I still think that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, since it's not VES, it's FS. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is overall a great Disney film. It's not one of my favorite. It's not like my top 10, top 15, top 20, but I still think it's an overall great film. I think there's more to it than people give it credit for, and I really loved it. With that, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Hi. Uh, so, and we end with me, of course, as always. But this movie is, of course, genuinely a classic. Everybody watches it at some point during childhood, and you always learn the same, story, how it's the very first Disney animated, or the very first, not only the first Disney animated film, but the first feature-length animated film. It is historic, and it's understandable why on many levels, because it did set the tone. It is, at least technically, it is a technical achievement. Even today, I still think the animation holds up. Largely, it is beautiful animation. But it is a very beautiful film, understandably. On a technical level, I think it was a real technical marvel, especially for its day. Story-wise, it did have a huge influence story-wise. This is what really created the whole Disney princess thing, because the fairy tales on which the Disney fairy tales were based on, including this, were a hell of a lot darker. Grimm's fairy tale, the Grimm's brothers Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen, so forth and so on. All these fairy tales were very dark, but it was Disney who really brightened them up before he made them, safe for consumption, I guess you could say, sanitize them. But so for better or worse. So it has been massively influential, for one way or the other. Whether or not you think that's a good thing or a bad thing depends on your point of view, I guess. But as far as the quality of the movie itself, the story, the acting, everything, you do have there are a few problems. I do think that Snow White herself is the weakest Disney princess. She is one-dimensional. She is one-dimensional. And that doesn't necessarily make it bad, but she is a one-dimensional character. She's drawn basically to be a pretty stereotypical, idealized female character. That's it. She's drawn to be the ideal. She represents the ideal as opposed to the wicked queen who's, full of jealousy and hate and rage, but she is a very one-dimensional character. Who's basically kindness and niceness and everything, sugar and spice and everything nice, how, the stereotypical how girls are supposed to be. So, I do think, however, that the queen is iconic. The wicked queen is iconic. She may not be as colorful as, say, say in The Little Mermaid or everything. So as some of the more later, Disney villains, but she is still, to me, I think she is very iconic and deservedly so. It is a very creepy performance after all, so I mean, it's very well done. So, I mean, she just kind of leans into the evil, and so I think she's a real strength of the film. It's actually terrifying, especially from a kid's point of view. I mean, this woman literally wants the huntsman to rip her heart out and bring it to her in a box. Like, wow. And then kills her with a poison apple, But and the prince, of course, is the most forgettable prince you have in any Disney film. It wasn't until later that they got a bit more colorful, The one I remember most, really, I think the best one, at least from that era, would be the one from Sleeping Beauty, when you get to see him actually battle Maleficent as a dragon. That's pretty badass. But I mean, here he's just kind of there. He's there. He shows up. That's pretty much it. He makes a couple appearances, and that's pretty much it. But he's a very forgettable Prince Charming, or whatever. But the dwarves are the best. The dwarves are the best part of the film. Easily the most memorable. Dopey. Everybody loves Dopey. It's arguable as based on. I know I have read a lot of disability advocates take some issue with Dopey being a mute, but and being supposedly the dumb one. But I just took it as not him being dumb necessarily, as just kind of really extremely funny and silly. So, but everybody loves Dopey. Dopey is hilarious. Grumpy, of course. All of them are just wonderful. I love Grumpy, of course. Grumpy keeps it real. Like me, I am grumpy. Always have been. And Bashful, Doc, all of them. They're all very colorful characters. They're really kind of the heart. They're really the real heart of the film here. So it is an iconic story, and everything. It is very, a very influential film, very historic and important film. But I think when you judge the film just by itself, it's a fairly weak film. It doesn't really stand up that great. So my score is a 6.5 out of 10. Not a bad film, but definitely not as great as its reputation suggests necessarily.
So it looks like we got another movie that's ranges from really good to it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I just kind of agree. I don't think she's that particularly compelling a character. So
yeah, I don't either. She's just, I just, like I said, I just found her kind of bland and boring.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But I don't think that a lot of the early Disney princesses are that way, really.
Yeah.
Not till later that they get really a lot more colorful.
I don't remember much about Sleeping Beauty.
Aurora
itself is not terribly interesting. I think it's mainly the fairies, who were the heart of that film. They were really kept everybody interested.
I did not expect to like Sleeping Beauty as much as I did because, I heard oh God, it's so terrible, it sucks, it's the worst thing ever. And then I watch, I'm like, that was pretty good.
I never heard anyone say it was terrible.
Doug Walker said it was terrible.
You should know by now. Anytime you hear a movie is terrible and the worst thing ever, you're going to like it because you're.
Hey, I heard Death of a Unicorn was going to suck, and look how that turned out. Spoiler alert, but,
Spoilers.
But yeah, I mean, no, just saying that. I like Sleeping Beauty too. I've always liked that. I remember seeing a lot of these in the film. I guess they were just re-released, but I mean, I think I remember seeing a lot of them probably in theater in Southern Pines. Because we lived up there when I went to kindergarten. We lived up there in Pine Bluff. And I remember seeing several.
Yeah. I know that there was a girl I used to date. She was a massive Disney fan.
Mm-hmm.
She always told me her favorite Disney animated movie was Sleeping Beauty. So,
Sleeping
Beauty. I mean, it's a really good movie. It's a good movie,
Well, as a kid, as a boy, I mean, that was probably my favorite because, I mean, you got to see the guy actually do something once, He's not just
my favorite Disney animated movie with Disney animated movie was Aladdin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Aladdin's great. Of course. Now, mine would have to be probably Fox and the Hound. Fox and the Hound just broke my.
Oh yeah, I love Fox and the Hound. Even though that's a really sad movie.
That is, man. God,
it's a great movie, but it's so.
They didn't spare my generation back in the day.
I remember watching. I had the VHS for that. I used to watch that a lot, and I was like,
"Oh yeah, that's a great movie." That and between that and poor Artax in fucking Never Ending Story, man. Jesus. Oh God.
Even though that's not Disney, but I get you.
No, but I'm just saying in general, the whole idea of traumatic children's films, for my generation.
Yeah.
But
I know like a lot of people. So technically, Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite Disney movie because I mean it is technically a Disney movie.
Yeah.
But if we're saying animated, it's a weird opinion. Emperor's New Groove.
That's
my favorite. My favorite's probably quote unquote weirder, but honestly, ever since I watched it, maybe this is just me being a superhero fan, but my favorite became Big Hero 6 after I finally watched it last couple of years ago.
Perfectly legit. Big Hero 6 is great.
Fucking Big Hero 6 is great.
I'm sorry, it was glitching out a little.
Big Hero 6 is my favorite.
I think that's one. I think that's one of Kane's. I think that's one of Kane's favorite Disney. I think that's
it's so good. Like I didn't expect. Like I expected it to be good, but then I was like, "Holy shit!" I know everyone makes fun of. I know everyone makes fun of the like predictable twist, but I'm like, I don't really give a fuck. I still
Yeah.
think it's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
some of my other favorites, I love Tarzan, I love Hunchback,
Oh yeah.
Fantasia, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin,
Lion King.
Lion
Yeah.
King.
I think we can all
I think Lion King is Ben's favorite.
Lion King is up there for me. I think we can all unanimously agree that the worst is Home on the Range.
Or Chicken Little.
I don't hate Chicken Little as everybody
I
else
didn't.
does.
I never saw
I
Chicken
didn't
Little.
hate Chicken Little. I like Chicken
I would say the worst one. It probably is Home on the Range. I honestly can't. Although keep in mind that's been so long, I don't remember anything about.
Exactly. It's like the
Remember not
Disney
liking it
movie
when I saw
literally
it.
everyone forgets. Because like it just sucked that badly.
Isn't that the one that Roseanne Barr did the voice?
I think
Yep.
so.
She's the cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So she's
supposed
just
to be.
playing herself.
Oh! I know another great Disney animated. I know another great Disney animated movie. Rescuers Down Under.
Underrated, top
Underrated,
of the
yeah.
animated movies for
Yeah.
me.
I haven't seen that forever.
Yeah.
I think Don Bluth worked on that one, didn't he?
No, that was much.
Really?
I think he
No,
worked
that-
on the original Rescuers, maybe.
Yeah, he
but
was
not-
right.
yeah,
He worked on the
yeah,
Rescuers.
Don-
Oh,
Not
the
Rescuers,
Rescuers.
Rescuers.
Worked on
Yeah,
the
see, I was
Rescuers,
thinking of the
worked on-
Rescuers. I wasn't
First
thinking of the Rescuers
Rescuers,
Down
yeah.
Under. I don't know if I've even
Because
seen
by
the
the time Down Under came out, Don Bluth was already.
Yeah.
he had his
I
own-
was thinking of the original Rescuers, not
Yeah.
Down Under. I don't think I've ever seen Down Under, honestly.
Down Under is the one where they go to
It's-
Australia.
It's
Yeah,
part
I
of the
know
Disney
that.
Renaissance.
I got it from Down Under, but I mean,
It's
just saying
technically
that-
part of the Disney Renaissance because it came right after Beauty and the Beast. So
No,
it's
it
part-
came out before. It came out
Oh, it
after
came out
The
before-
Little Mermaid
okay, it came out
and
before
before
Beauty
Beauty and the Beast.
So it is part of the Disney Renaissance. So eat a
Yes.
dick.
Yep.
Another one I've
But
always loved since I was a
Rescuers
kid.
Down Under.
Another one I've always loved since I was a kid was Hercules.
Treasure Planet's also massively underrated.
Atlantis is underrated.
Yeah.
Planets.
Atlantis is pretty damn good too.
Atlantis.
I watched it a lot as a kid. That was like one of the first DVDs we owned. So we watched that movie a lot.
So Drew's like favorite movies growing up were Atlantis, Treasure Planet, and it's not Disney, but it is Don Bluth. He loved Titan AE.
I love Tiny is
Tiny
awesome.
AE is very underrated.
It's very
That might be my favorite
underrated.
Don Bluth movie, honestly.
That was
Wow.
that I would agree that Titan AE is very underrated.
Black Cauldron is underrated.
I'm really disappointed.
Black
that
Cauldron
had a bomb.
is so fucking good. Fucking love Black Cauldron. It was
Yeah.
Disney trying to do Don Bluth, yet it worked, and I'm not
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah. Black
Fucking
Cauldron.
justice for Princess Eowyn.
Princess and the
Mother-
Frog is really
Motherfuckers
good.
didn't make her a Disney princess, yet she has princess in the name. Yet Merida from fucking Brave, who's not
Oh,
even
Pixar
Disney,
movie.
it's fucking Pixar, is a Disney princess. Go fucking figure. Fucking losers. Hashtag justice for Princess Eowyn. Losers.
What kind of place is this?
John has feelings about the Black Cauldron.
I
Oh, yeah.
like I saw it. I'm like, okay, this is the let's see, because I've heard mixed things. I've heard, oh, it's great. I've heard, oh, it sucks. So I'm like, let's see what I think. I watch it and I'm like, it's flawed. You can tell this was 3 books in one, but it's fucking goated. It's like definitely.
I remember.
Definitely
I
up there for
remember.
me.
I haven't seen the Black Cauldron in so long. Although I remember liking it when I was a kid. But then again, I was also reading the books. So
You know what I like that is you don't hear about a lot? The Sword and the Stone.
Sword in the Stone was great.
I like
Yeah.
the Sword and the Stone. Yeah.
Great.
Disney doing the
and another great one.
Oh,
Another
yeah.
great one. It's one that I actually watched recently, and it's way better than I ever remembered. Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch is awesome.
I
Lilo
love
Stitch
that
is
movie.
awesome.
It's
Jungle
honestly.
Book. Uh,
I love how in Lilo and Stitch they pretty much dive into like neurodivergent families kind of thing, you know.
Yep.
So and like that was honestly the things with the sister and Lilo is just that was just amazing. Those were easily the best part. So
I love Tangled. Tangled's another great one.
Tangled's great, and I'm gonna say something controversial. I like Fantasia 2000 more than the original.
Wow.
Wow.
I think the original's pretty good. Like the original, it
Pretty good?
has like
It's fucking
the,
art.
the Sorcerer's Apprentice
Uh-huh.
thing. Like that short, great. Everything else is like either pretty
Oh, come
boring
on.
or
How
not
do you
very
not
memorable.
like the
Not
Dante's
about Mountain?
Sword? I mean, Jesus.
Oh yeah, the Bald Mountain one. Yeah, those two, and then yeah, I can't even remember what are
There
the
was
other
the
ones.
dinosaur one.
Well, yeah, I think that was like them dying of the drought, right? Because we didn't know at the time that they were killed by an asteroid.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, the only thing really bad about Fantasia 2000s is like the celebrity like inserts. Those are pretty cringy, but like honestly, I liked the Fantasia 2000s clips over the originals. The original's good, but I enjoyed Fantasia 2000 way more.
Mhm.
So that's fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, the original, I think I'm with Snow White. I'm more impressed with the technology and how they made it than
Yeah.
the movie itself and the story itself. But I mean, I'm more impressed with how they made it because that was really, pioneering what he did.
It was.
Mhm.
Like I said, this was the very first animated film of fully animated film of all time. So without this, there would be no such thing as a fully animated film. You know,
There would be no Iron Giant.
Yeah,
there'd be no Princess Mononoke or Spirited Away.
Yeah, and I think some of my favorites would have been from the time Dumbo. Always loved, the story of growing up as the child of the only, basically kind of a quasi only child of a single mother, just me and my mom. I mean, Dumbo had a lot in me, especially feeling like a misfit. I love Dumbo. Bambi, for the same reason.
Oh, I love Bambi.
Yeah, Bambi. Oh, dear
Didn't
Lord.
care for Bambi that much when I was watching all of the I think it was 2023 I did my thing where I watched like every Disney animated movie. I wasn't sure if I watched them or like I hadn't watched them, so I'm like, let me just watch all of them so I know that I watched them. I didn't care for Bambi, didn't care for the Jungle Book, didn't care for the Rescuers. Aristocats was okay, Dumbo was okay.
I didn't like Aristocats.
I like Aristocats. Aristocats is fun.
I will say,
it's cute. It's cute.
Easily the second worst Disney anime movie I've ever seen is definitely Dinosaur. That was fucking terrible.
Wait, Dinosaur? Don't you mean 3D Land Before Time?
Essentially, yes.
Good.
What you need is a little help. What you need is a little help from the Love Monkey.
Oh, come on. I liked Dinosaur. I liked Dinosaur. All right. I thought it was cute.
I haven't seen that one in forever. And we had the VHS and I wore it out.
I like Dinosaur.
Because for my top 3 like least favorite Disney animated movies are Home on the Range, Dinosaur, and Frozen. Because I have a list on Letterboxd.
Frozen I liked. I like Frozen. Frozen didn't bother.
I don't care for Frozen.
Yeah, it's just like there's like a just like in terms of the only like movie like Disney animated movie I've seen that I genuinely think is atrocious is Home on the Range. That one's bad. I would say Dinosaur's terrible, so I misquoted myself. It's not bad. It's just like just the CGI does not look good in this day and age. Which you can like kind of forgive for the time it came out in 2000. But it just like again, it's the story was done better in Land Before Time, and it wasn't incredibly memorable, unfortunately.
Yeah, but honestly, let's be honest. There are so many Land Before Times. Dear God, they ruined that franchise with far too many.
They ruined it by making it a franchise.
They had like 12 sequels.
I think they have 14 or 15 movies now.
Something like that, yeah.
It's musical now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, I did love the original Land Before Time, but after that, I was like, dear God, please just stop.
Yeah, Land Before Time. The first Land Before Time is easily my favorite Don Bluth movie.
Same.
Another Disney movie I'm kind of like mixed on would be Brother Bear. Because like
I don't
first act
honestly. I don't
really
remember
the
it.
first act because like the first act is like really fucking good. The middle where he turns into a bear is not good, but the ending is really good. So it's like a
I
not a
remember
great
watching it
film.
a lot as a kid.
I've seen Brother Bear one time, and I really don't remember anything about it. I just
I
just
thought it
never
was
had any
pretty good.
interest going back.
I only
hey
saw
guys, look who's here! It's Rome.
Oh,
What's up,
Hey,
guys?
Rome.
Rome was not built in a day.
Now what dwarf is Rome?
Sleepy?
Perfect.
There you go, sleepy,
There you go.
overworked dwarf.
Yeah, you can say
So,
that again.
Rome, is there anything you want to say about the original Snow White?
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Classic animation.
Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember like just the animation style and the art of it. Just the art and good storytelling, very straightforward storytelling.
Yeah.
I think the witch when she transformed to like that old creepy lady, they did a good job making her like scary.
Yeah, I agree.
For a 5-year-old, that would scare somebody.
That
Hell
was
yeah.
my thing, Rome, because she's actually a scary villain. Because I think
Yeah.
that's why she works so well. Yeah, but I mean,
Oh, we're talking about best fucking Disney animated movies, and we didn't mention fucking Mulan. Fucking
Ooh.
Mulan,
Oh, I love
excellent.
Mulan.
Mulan's great.
yeah,
Oh,
Mulan's
awesome.
Yeah. Well, what Rome? What's
Mulan is
or
really, really
I'm sorry,
great. I was
Sleepy. What's
glad to
your
see around that time that they started to branch out and make more adaptations from other cultures, because it's like, Jesus, there's a lot of cultures around the world that have some really great stories that would make some really great adaptations. You know?
Rome? What would
great.
you say is your favorite Disney animated movie of all time?
Oof. It's tough because I love Aladdin, but I also remember Peter Pan as a kid. That was
Oh,
another one I really loved. Aladdin, Peter Pan, Pinocchio. That was the first animated, first Disney movie
yeah.
or first movie I saw in theaters. That blew me away in theater. So
Mhm.
those are like my top three. Lion King's in there. Lion King's in there as well.
Lion King's great. Yeah.
You know,
Honestly, I think of the Disney
I got Lion
Renaissance.
King,
I think
yeah,
Lion
I remember.
King-
I remember seeing Lion King when it originally came out. I was 5 years old. I think it was like the summer before I started kindergarten.
I was like grown or about grown or like in my teens, I think, when the Disney Renaissance started with Little Mermaid, and that was great. You know, then they just nailed it again with what was the next one?
Yeah, I was gonna say Little Mermaid started in '89.
yeah, Little Mermaid's
Mermaid,
another one.
9.
Yep.
Then Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
Aladdin, and then Lion
Yeah.
King, I think, if I remember correctly. If I had to
Lion
pick one of
King,
those
and then
four,
after that,
what?
No, I was gonna say because it was like Little Mermaid, technically Rescuers Down Under because it came out between Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Mulan, and Tarzan. Those were the.
I would say, honestly, I think Pocahontas is one of the weaker ones.
Pocahontas
I
is
hate that they
definitely
went-
the weakest of the Disney.
I
Renaissance.
Yeah,
hate
it
that.
is.
I don't think it's a bad film per se, but I mean, I hate that they go with this tired old romance between John Smith and Pocahontas. She would have been like 14 at the fucking most, dude.
Technically,
Yeah.
Snow
She
White
was
was 14
romance.
in the movie.
There
Jasmine's
was no
15.
romance. Huh?
Jasmine was 15.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
we
technically
don't
the
talk
real
about
life.
that.
Technically, the real life Pocahontas was what 10 when she met John.
That's what I'm
Smith?
saying. Yeah, she would have been like at
Yeah.
14 at the most, 10 to 14 years old. She would have not have been marrying age. She did marry an Englishman later. They did show that in the sequel. She married John Rolfe, which is incidentally the guy who brought tobacco to Virginia and made it a profitable colony. But I mean,
gang, gang.
exactly right. So,
But I just thought of
but I
another
mean, yeah, she
underrated.
did marry him, but then
oh,
she
sorry.
went to England, got sick, and died. So
Okay.
Didn't she get an STD or
But
something?
I was
Yeah.
no. It was pretty sure it was like smallpox or something.
okay. So I was going to bring up another underrated Disney animated movie because I remember watching this recently with Renee, The Great Mouse Detective.
Great Mouse.
Oh, that's another one. I forgot that was
Vincent
Disney.
Price
Yeah.
as the villain. say no more.
Yeah.
That's all you need to say. You
Exactly.
have Vincent Price, one of the best Disney animated.
I forget if that was Disney or
Exactly.
not, but yeah. That scene at the end with the clock tower where like something happens to him and then he does
Oh,
this
it's awesome.
creepy
Yeah.
scene up close. That scared the shit out of me every time I watched it as a kid.
Honestly, never seen it.
It's not one of the ones that like people see a lot of. It's like
Yeah.
kind of one of
Right.
the more because that was like the tail end of like the Disney Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the reason that we have the Disney Renaissance is because of Great Mouse Detective, because the profits from Great Mouse Detective immediately went
That-
into Disney's next movie, which was The Little Mermaid.
I was
So
gonna
if
say,
it wasn't
I was
for
gonna say,
Great Mouse Detective,
technically, it was both Great Mouse Detective and Oliver and Company.
yeah,
Oliver
t- t-
Company
what
did
is
one.
considered
Oliver and
two of
Company
the
was
weaker
the
ones.
last of the dark.
That's a classic one.
Billy,
too.
Billy fucking Joel, man.
Yeah.
Did you guys mention Robin
Should
Hood?
I worry?
Ah, yes, the
Robin Hood?
the
Robin Hood.
movie that started a
Hood's-
million fetishes.
Robin
Very
Hood is
much.
a fun one. You know, that's one of the. Actually, I think that's one of the better Robin Hood adaptations.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yo, yeah.
Yes,
it's better than
You
the
know,
fucking
something I
Russell Crowe
realized-
movie.
something I realized in like the avalanche of like straight to DVD Disney sequels, there wasn't one for Snow White.
Yeah, because it was
I mean,
so.
there was technically there was technically a straight to
They had
video
VHSs
Snow White
for Snow
movie.
White,
It
I
wasn't.
know that.
It wasn't made by. I don't think it was made by Disney, but it was like kind of like a Snow White esque ripoff called Happily Ever After or something.
Yes, Filmation, I think, did it.
Yeah.
But I mean, Disney did release it on VHS. I know because I mean, my mother had a ton of.
Yeah, I have
those,
it downstairs in my
yeah,
basement.
because I mean, most of her grandkids. Well, I mean, she had what my older sister had, you know, 2 girls, you know, and whenever you know, and my older brother had 2 girls, and whenever they would come over, I mean, you know, so she had 4 granddaughters. They would come over. Dear Lord, she had plenty of Disney movies on VHS for them. Jesus, she had a ton of them. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, I know they're released on VHS. I don't know why they've ever. I guess they haven't ever released it on. Did they ever release it on DVD or Blu-ray or what?
Which one?
Snow White.
I think so.
I'm sure they have at some point. Maybe not in a while, but I mean,
Yeah.
so
Do y'all ever remember when Disney would always have that promo of saying, "Oh yeah, we have the Disney Vault, and we're gonna open this classic for a limited time only," you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
they do that,
So
yeah. I mean, they do that. I mean, because and you can't blame them, you know, because I mean, that was one of the things everybody worried about with the Fox movies. You know, when they bought Fox, that all those classic movies from Fox, you know, not just but I mean, would go into the vault and just we would never see them again.
yeah.
So, but hey,
Yeah, it sucks that Disney is not like how it used to be. Yeah, just lost its balls.
I mean, they go through cycles, you know. I mean,
You guys mentioned
Go through
Sword in
that
the
too.
Stone.
What's that?
Yeah, Mark mentioned Sword.
Oh yeah, Mark
That's
mentioned
another
yeah, I
classic
mentioned
one,
it. Yeah,
too.
Sword
Yeah,
and Stone. I like Sword and Stone.
I
Yeah,
was
me too.
shocked.
Mhm.
I will say, I was shocked with how much I loved Bolt. The like
Bolt's
forgettable
good.
movie where John Travolta voices a dog, and it's like it's actually really well done and has a really good underlying like theme in regards to like treatment of animals and children in Hollywood and how mistreated they are. And it's like, wait, what? This is well done. You're actually this is more than I thought this was gonna be about. What do you say? And I was like, damn, this is shocking. This is great stuff. And I was like, damn, boom, top 15. There you go.
Damn. I don't know. I mean, I kind of think of the Pixar films separately from their kind of hand-drawn animation ones
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the
Oh,
same
yeah.
way.
separately. Yeah, because I mean, it's just different to me, you know. Because I mean, you know, that's why I'm So, but I mean, you think of the classics, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, my favorite, like I said, I mean, Fox and the Hound has got to be the most impactful.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
sad ending.
Jesus
That
Christ.
was.
Oh man, that's a crusher. But I mean, that, Bambi, Jungle Book I liked when I was a kid. Jungle Book was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, Jungle Book was fun.
Yeah, Jungle
I don't
Book.
mind Jungle Book.
Yeah. Dumbo I love. I still really love Dumbo. So but yeah.
Emperor's New Groove. That one I watched all the time. I watched all the time when I was a kid.
That's legit.
That
That's
was literally the same thing for me and Aladdin. Because
Yeah,
I've mentioned Aladdin is my favorite. So
It's like Emperor's New Groove. It's not only it's the most funny Disney movie. It's probably the most quotable.
yeah,
Yeah, Devin, I agree with you on that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At my birthday celebration tomorrow, I'll give the word, and your town will be destroyed to make way for this.
I mean, you have
I
David
don't-
Spade and John Goodman for fuck's sake. I mean, for crying
And
out loud.
Eartha
Yeah.
Kitt and Patrick
Yeah.
Warburton.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a
Oh, yeah. It's all coming
1,000
together.
Now. Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
All right, I've had enough. Tell us where the talking llama is, and we'll burn your house to the ground. Don't you mean or? Ugh. Tell us where the talking llama is, or we'll burn your house to the ground.
Let me guess.
Pull the lever, Crunk. Wrong lever.
Let me guess.
Why do we even have that lever?
Uh-oh. Let me guess. Uh-oh. Let me guess. Raging Waterfall? Yep.
Yep.
Probably gonna die? Yep.
Just like,
Probably gonna die? Probably. Bring it on.
bring it on.
Bring it on.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. We're about to go over a huge waterfall. Yep. Sharp box at the bottom. Just likely.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah,
but-
you know what would have been really interesting? I like John Goodman's great in the movie. Imagine if it was David Spade and Chris Farley in that movie.
God.
Yeah.
That would have been
Oh,
that
fucking
would have been awesome.
That was
insane.
amazing.
Oh my God, jeez. But the dynamic would have been different because Chris Farley was
Very
always-
different, yes.
David Spade was the straight man. I don't think it could have worked there because David Spade was always the straight man, and Chris Farley was the goofball.
Yeah, but
It
but
would have
also
been a
like
very different
Pacha.
dynamic, but it would have been interesting.
Yeah. would
But
have
what
been-
do you say-
would have been interesting, yeah.
But I'd say Pacha was more the straight man.
No, well, what he's saying when David Spade was in Chris Farley movies,
Chris
he was
Farley
the straight
movies,
man.
yes, exactly.
So it would
Yeah.
be awkward to like.
Uh-huh.
So it would be a very different dynamic than.
Yeah, between
be
those two, I'm
reversed
not
in
talking about
Emperor's
the
New Groove.
characters. I'm talking about the actors. Between those two
I
actors,
think-
yeah.
I remember reading up like the original premise for Emperor's New Groove, what it was going to be,
Kingdom of the Sun.
Kingdom of the Sun. It sounded kind of neat, and Yzma's song "Stuff Out the Light" is fucking awesome.
Yeah, my friend
That's
still
such a good
to
song.
this day. That's like I don't care. Like it's a great movie because like it would have been better if they had that song. I mean, it would have made sense if they had that song.
Would you guys put a Goofy movie in there? It's one of the strong ones from Disney.
Oh yeah,
I've
I
never
like. Oh yeah.
Goofy movie? Yeah.
Goofy movie's a
I've
lot
never
of
seen
fun.
it, but I know it's well thought of.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I remember watching that a lot as a kid too. So that was so much fun.
Me too. I used to watch it a lot. I watched that a few months back. It still holds up.
Oh
I
yeah.
rem- The part I did watch, and I will admit this part actually kind of got me a little choked up, was when Max was like, "I have my own life," and Goofy's like, "I know, I just wanted to be part of it."
Mm,
Like that was like
Oh,
a
man.
really good line.
was.
It's funny when I
But at the
watch it
same
now.
time,
Sorry, Devin.
but at the same time, it's like, Max, you're like 14. You don't have your own life. Remember what you saying?
As a kid, you get Mac's side of it. As you get older, you clearly understand Goofy's side of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's like Max. He's trying to want to do something away that a lot of teenagers pretty much they want to try to get away from the parents, and the parents want to just be into their lives, you know.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's
So-
important though for a kid's development for them. It is important for them to develop a sense of independence, though.
Mm.
That's really normal and natural, So I mean, but Yeah.
Goofy's actually like a really good dad.
who? Goofy?
Goofy.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like who would have thought? Like when people like mention like, oh, single dads, like like good dads in cartoons. I'm surprised like Goofy's not brought up a lot.
He is brought up a lot. Whenever I see him brought up, they usually bring
He
him up.
is.
Yeah, they always bring him up.
For sure, yeah, you have your Hank Hills and your Professor Utoniums, but you also have Goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not like, I don't know, Goku.
Good cartoon dads take a step forward. Not so fast, Timmy's dad.
Now, you know, I actually remember there was a meme. I actually remember. I think I posted this in the chat. There was actually a meme
did.
that was
You
like,
did.
like the Futurama one, where it's like the
Mhm.
one of the I think one of the Harlem Globetrotters was like, you know what? Everyone in this room is a good dad, and then next one, you
Which
see, like,
I call bullshit because Randy from South Park was in that fucking room and he fucking sucked as a dad. All right.
Oh, he
Oh,
Get the
does.
He
fuck
does.
outta
He really
here.
fucking
He's really
does.
fucking dead.
Bro said the N word on national TV.
My dream, my dreams were tarnished a long time ago.
there you go.
When?
How
How old
long
are
ago? How old are you?
You need some integrity, Happy. You need some integrity, John.
I didn't hear no bell.
Again, my apologies. I am fighting a cold. But
Well, you are sneezing.
Is there anything
after
else?
all.
yeah, it is. Although I'm technically coffee than sneezy.
Mm.
But
Close enough.
is there anything else we want to say about Snow White?
It's great. It's not as bad as everyone says it is. So go watch it. It's great. It started the whole animation industry. Snow White's
Oh, yeah.
great. The prince is great. The evil queen is great. It's a great story. It's lovely. It's not stupid or creepy like some dumbasses will make you believe. So go
Forget
watch it.
about
It's on Disney Plus.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Okay. Again,
But yeah, that's our these are our thoughts on Snow White. And stay tuned next time for our review of Death of a Unicorn.
I just want to say I saw the movie
Yikes.
yesterday, and I apologize for making you guys watch it.
No apologies needed
then
for me.
then again, we all agreed to it.
Yeah,
So
it's
It's
not-
like The Crow. We all agree to that
Yeah.
shit.
I had a good
Well-
time.
well, at least one person did.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are our thoughts on Snow White.
Wait a minute. Is there something
Huh?
we're missing? Is there?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Really? Oh. Oh, there was a remake that came out? Guys, apparently there was a remake.
Remake? What are you talking about?
Hmm?
What's a remake?
What?
I mean,
What are you talking about? No. There's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. 37. There's no remake.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I don't remember.
it's not like we remember anyway, since it only made 14 million in its second weekend.
Oh,
Hmm.
ouch.
April Fool's, bitches.
Once again, we have brought light into the world. You're welcome, America.